video on how to complete the PCV task, which is easy and included for most awarding organisations. So most universities and diploma-based courses have some form of PCV-based task, and so this will be designed to demonstrate how to perform a PCV with that particular skill set. Now, a couple of quick quotes here, a quick second. We don't have a centrifuge. We're always on the hunt for donated equipment if anybody has a broken one, as they are hugely expensive. But I do have a perfectly good demonstration, so I can still show you it all anyway. So obviously this will be a lab-based task, so you are going to be putting your PPE on within your time. And you will have some form of task scenario. So this is our PJ-based design task scenario that we kind of create. And mainly it's just to give you some reference if you had to record any particular patient details or anything like that. But most of the time, the main focus of the task is to complete the PCV, so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. So, you will potentially have just one option of blood sample when you arrive. Most courses are generally kind of advising they're not trying to over there to complicate you, but if you do have an option, then you're always looking for an EDTA, which is a purple top or a red top or a pink version. Kind of varies up and down the country. Just look up what your local EDTA tube is in case you're worried, but you're looking for an EDTA. For pure examples for today, I have two alternatives. So a serum and a coag profile, but I would not use either of these, okay? The other thing to mention, guys, is your type of hematocrit tubes. Really important. Blue is a plain top hematocrit tube. This means that it can be ran with an EDTA. There are also red top hematocrit tubes, and they actually have lifheparin in. So they could be used with a heparin tube, which I don't have here today as an option, but which generally speaking up and down the country is an orange variation. So just make sure that you've got the right hematocrit tube to your blood tube that you're actually going to be using. And again, 9 out of 10 times, you will only get one option. But if you are concerned or you know you get given multiple options, then blue for EDTA and red you could use with a lifhep, okay? So you want to make 2 to balance them. So there's always the tricky task of a brand new full pot of getting them out. So to make my life easier for the purpose of the demo, I am just going to slip my lid off. And I'm going to take 2 out. And I'm going to pop the lid back on so that they are nice and safe. If that happens on the day as well, and your fingers and thumbs, you can do the exact same thing, guys, as long as you're not breaking any sterility, which I've not touched or opened my sample by that point. The other thing I'm going to do is get ready with some lens wiping tissue. So there'll always be some kind of microscope, lens cleaning, kind of some form of soft sugar paper almost, which is designed to prevent debris from going onto the end of your tube when it goes into the machine and help prevent just like sampling issues with the blood. So I'm going to get one of them ready as well. I've got my 2 tubes, my blood tube, and everything else that I need ready. And then if I do have any form of anything to prevent the spillage, if I want to kind of be as unmessy as possible, I might also get that ready there too. But I'm not going to use that for wiping. So now that I've got all of my equipment ready, you're going to just give a gentle little agitate of your tube, just to make sure you've mixed everything up. You know, there are various preservatives and agents within each tube, so you just want to make sure that you've just given that little mix up there. You need to fill it to around 3/4 of the way full. Now for our health and safety and kind of COSH and various other things, I am just using a fake blood online that is perfectly safe, so I've got no zoonotic risk to anybody. So keeping your finger over the end will prevent it emptying or kind of coming back all out all over your paper. And I'm just going to fill it to around 3/4 full. I'll show you with this one in a second, now that I've filled it up. And again, if you keep your finger, as soon as I put my finger on the top, it will stop filling. These are like little vacuutainers. So I'll pop the lid on and then I'll show you again what 3/4 full looks like, and then I'll clean them and bung them. The only trouble with the red blood, the fake blood, is it does go everywhere. So it's a really good reminder about how to make sure you're not spreading stuff everywhere. Okay guys, so that's one, about 3/4 of the way full, and I've bunged it, and I wiped the end off there just before I did that. Same with the next one, and again, keeping your finger on the end, my fingers there pushed together, that's going to stop my blood from falling out. If I tipped it upside down, it still wouldn't fall out. Very smart little system, these little tubes, to be honest. Okay, and there I am, I've got my 2 tubes ready. So you would come and balance them into your centrifuge. So for purposes, I've just printed an example centrifuge and done the tray so that I could demonstrate. You want to place it with your clay side out because it's centrifugal force, so it pushes everything outwards, and you want to balance it and place them opposing to each other. So I would lay them into my centrifuge, and I would then turn around and say, I'm going to make my settings 10,000 RPM for 5 minutes. Some of you may or may not have to even include settings, but if you do, it is 10,000 RPM for 5 minutes for a PCV setting. If you have stat spin or something, it will pre-do it for you, so it's worth just noting that down so you know what settings you are doing. You then leave that. You don't spin it, you don't run it, you don't do it. So, then come over, and we're going to read a pre-one that our assessor has normally prepared for us earlier that day. So I've got our pre-span one that it's not pre-spun, because again, it's fake blood for safety. But what I've done on here is I've popped a little black mark, as you can see, to represent where plasma would be. I've got my red blood volume line, and then obviously I've got my bung at the end. So I've created one to look fairly kind of similar. Now we have a simple microhematocrit stat spin reader, but you may be offered a Hawksley reader. We will include a video within the description of this, or a link, sorry, within the description of this video, so you can see kind of how you would use a Hawksley reader as well, but they're literally exactly the same, except it holds the slide for you, which is a little bit nicer. So, you look to line the bottom of your PCV tube up. I'll move it over, guys, so we're a bit closer. You look to line the bottom of your PCV tube with the bottom of the blood to the top of the clay level, because obviously your clay can often be a fair bit of distance, so you basically want the bottom level of the blood. You then look to line the top of your tube, which is the maximum fill, which in this case will be my plasma level, and I've put a little black marker, with the top of the 100% reader on the stat spin scale, or Hawksley reader. So my clay finishes there, so I've put that in line with the 0, and my plasma level would be there, so I've put that in line. You just slide it along, really, to wherever it fits. And so ours, again, was about here. And then for us, just because we don't have the divider, I just use a ruler to come across it, follow the red line that it sits with, and so that would be a 70% PCV. I'm then just going to, at this point, because I'm happy at 70%, I'm just going to pop my materials away, check I've left everything nice and clean, and then I'm going to remove my gloves, and I'm going to do my reading. And if there's any hospital details or anything to fill in, I will do that. So I am going to pop 70% down, and then I would check I'm happy. If you have a task sheet or anything with you, I would read that, just check I've done everything. And then I would say to the assessor that I'm happy I finished the task.